were household names, television, entertainment and sporting stars who shared our day-to-day lives. But with the passing of time, many have faded from view. Well, here at Extra, we decided to track down some of them. Our detective of the moment, Tony Biancotti, joins me now. Hi, Tone.
G'day, Rick.
Now, you've been talking to Jim and Melody Iliffe.
That's right, yeah. Jim and Melody were two of the biggest stars of Queensland television back in the 60s.
Well, things have changed a lot since those days.
They certainly have, yeah, and they've got some great stories about the good old days of television.
I remember you.
They were two of the most well-known faces on early Queensland television. Jim with the Channel 9ers and Melody as the first female newsreader, not only in Queensland but in Australia. In the early 60s, she won a gold Logie.
I'm so very thrilled and happy to be here tonight to accept this award.
Melody had been a production assistant with Jim on The Children's Show until a fortunate accident.
They threw me in the booth to do an announcement one day because the announcer didn't turn up, and they had this new voice that everyone liked apparently, and they didn't know what to do with it, so they put me on the news.
Now Jim and Melody live a more leisurely pace, but they still get a lot of laughs out of the old days.
Look at those hairstyles.
Yes, oh yes. I mean, they were all about 6 inches high, weren't they?
That's coming back.
Oh, it's not.
Yeah.
Oh, not with me.
These days, Melody keeps busy with pottery and swimming and walking to keep fit. Even without the 60s haircut, she still gets recognised.
Oh, it's lovely, yes, yes. Because I work a few days a week at the Wesley Breast Clinic, and I get a lot of women in there, and I sit at a desk, and, you know, they are sitting in the lounge area waiting to be seen by the doctor, and I can see them sort of eyeing me up. Where have I seen that face before?
For years, she was the friendly face of the Chandler's commercials and a common topic for jokes at weddings, even one she attended.
And there was a telegram warning the bride and groom not to buy your bed from Chandler's because Melody Iliffe stands behind the product she sells.
That's about the right distance away from the microphone. As I say, if it's going to be, you know, dramatic, then you move back slightly.
Jim keeps busy teaching at the Air TV School for Radio and Television, and he writes books. And when he's not writing, he works as a community justice mediator, helping people solve their problems.
If people would only sit down and talk to each other, there wouldn't be half the, you know, the squabbles and disputes that exist.
Jim still gets recognised too as Captain Jim from the Channel 9ers. Kids who watched his show are all adults now. That comes in handy, like the time he left his wallet and identification at home, and an office girl had to check with her boss.
She said, the chief accountant said to tell you that he was junior flyer number 2468 and it's all right.
Jim has a lot of great yarns, like the time his TV counterpart in Melbourne got arrested at the airport for impersonating a pilot. And he worked with a lot of TV's greats, including Happy Hammond, who looks just a bit like our Doug Murray.
That's probably who Doug was inspired by with his dress sense.
Their 3 children have all grown up and left home, the youngest following in their footsteps as a radio announcer in Broken Hill. Melody misses the kids, and especially doing tuck shop duty.
I always had big queues in front of where I was serving at tuck shop, you know, and they'd say, I want Mrs. Chandler to serve me.
And what do they miss about working in television?
Not much. The money?
I don't miss it very much at all, because I think, knowing how it's changed, I think if I went back to television, I'd probably want to go back under the old rules of enjoying it and having fun.
Tell them I remember you.
Yeah, well, television still can be fun when you work with people like the Iliffe.